Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, a deadly robbery and manhunt spanning several north central Florida counties ends in gunfire, the timeline of events that ultimately led to the suspect's death.
From Washington to your backyard, pushback from local groups saying Elon Musk has too much power in Washington, how they're working to hold leaders like Congresswoman Kat Cammack responsible.
And I'm Jada Ross, live from City Hall, talking with leaders about how the city is implementing the No Sleeping in Public ordinance, which was signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
What started as a robbery turned into not only a deadly shooting, but another shootout with law enforcement after a manhunt that spanned 3 counties. This is WUFT First at 5. I'm Nicole Borman. The suspect that killed 2 people in a robbery in Gadsden County and a deputy in Suwannee County is now dead.
And I'm Roches. 8 hours after the initial robbery in Gadsden County, deputies in Suwannee and Columbia County announced the suspect died during that gunfight.
There's a lot of elements involved in this story, so let's get over to WUFT's Tanya Fedek live in the studio with a timeline of the events.
We're working to learn the names of the victims of this morning's robbery. In addition to the suspect, investigators say it was the man who killed them.
At around 12 a.m., the Gadsden County Sheriff's Office posted they were investigating an armed robbery at a gas station and said the suspect shot 4 people and 2 victims died. At 8 a.m., the Sheriff's Office made another post saying the suspect's vehicle was spotted in Columbia County. According to the office, FHP, Columbia, and Suwannee County Sheriff's Offices chased the suspect until he crashed. He then shot at investigators and hit a Suwannee County deputy, but he wasn't badly hurt. The suspect ran off the scene, causing a manhunt to ensue, according to Gadsden Sheriff deputies. At about 10 a.m., Gadsden County Sheriff's Office made one final update, saying the suspect was killed during a standoff with SWAT. Many Gadsden County locals have taken to Facebook to share their thoughts on this morning's events. One person wrote, "Gadsden County has gained a negative reputation across Florida and beyond, but we have the power to change that. Our future is not set in stone. We can rewrite the narrative."
Neighbors in the Live Oak area were told to shelter in place, but that order quickly lifted. Gadsden County Sheriff's Office says they'll release a full report once they get more information. Live in the studio, Tanya Fedek, WUFT News.
In other news, a child is dead after a shooting incident in Inglis, Florida. Levy County deputies responded to a reported shooting call to find an adult woman and child shot. Officials said 2 children were playing in a room when a child got a hold of a gun and accidentally discharged it. Both the woman and child were taken to the hospital where the child was pronounced dead. Detectives are still investigating the incident.
If you have plans to be on the road, watch out for road closures in Ocala on I-75. The north ramp from County Road 484 or exit 341 will be closed overnight from this Sunday at 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Monday, February 10th. Now let's take a live look outside on our DOT camera overlooking I-75. Traffic seems light at the moment. We're joined by UF forecaster Matthew Clark with our weather forecast for the weekend.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there right now. More blue skies overhead and just shy of 80 degrees, 79 right now in Gainesville. Some light winds coming out of the west. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon. That sunset is going to be setting up just in a few minutes to be perfect. You know, no clouds in the sky. It's going to be a beautiful night out. 79 in Ocala right now, 77 in Stark, and 68 up in Live Oak. 70s across the state, though. It is a beautiful Friday night. All the eventful weather is happening up north over in Montana and Wyoming. A lot of snow up there, but another front has stalled over our area, so just a lot more above average temperatures here and a lot more cold temperatures above that area. So I'll have the evening forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Today, the Dismantle DEI Act was proposed by both senators and congressmen, including Senator Rick Scott. The act does go hand in hand with President Trump's executive order to ban government DEI programs and extend it to private industry. The senators hope that by removing federal funding of DEI, the priority in the workplace will be merit.
No one is hurt after an apartment fire displaced a family last night. One adult and 2 children were able to leave the building on their own. And officials say they found heavy black smoke coming from the first floor apartment unit. 3 fire department crews answered the call and worked to extinguish the fire. One team contained the fire from the room it started, another helped in clearing neighboring apartments, while the others went through the house and rescued the family's cat. The fire was determined as an electrical issue.
City commissioners passed a sleeping in public ordinance at the request of Governor Ron DeSantis in November of 2024. Since then, Gainesville's Mayor Pro Tem says city leaders began to provide the homeless with support and housing solutions. WUFT reporter Jada Roches is joining us live from City Hall to tell us how the city is handling this issue.
The ordinance prohibits sleeping and camping in public without a permit, essentially criminalizing homelessness. A bed is a basic necessity for most. However, many in Gainesville live without that basic need.
Really, at the end of the day, homelessness is a housing issue. If people do not have a place to live and they cannot afford to live in a home, then there aren't homes for them.
The cost of housing and rentals continues to rise in Gainesville. Commissioner Brian Eastman says the increase sometimes increases homelessness. The city is supporting Grace Marketplace in opening a new building, making more beds available for people who need it. According to Commissioner Eastman, the building is almost complete.
We're continuing to take a look at it and make sure that we're doing what the state law requires of us while doing it in the most compassionate way possible.
Florida Health Charts reports in 2024, Alachua County had 639 people who went to bed without a bed. It reported statewide there were 31,462 people without housing. In Gainesville, if you are found in violation, you may receive a $125 fine. To file a lawsuit against someone sleeping on their property if the matter is not resolved within 5 days. Live from City Hall, Jada Roches. Additionally, property owners have the right to file a lawsuit against someone sleeping on their property if the matter is not resolved within 5 days. Live from City Hall, Jada Roches, WUFT News.
Today is the last day to donate to the Greater Gainesville Young Professionals Homeless Drive. They are currently collecting blankets, coats, and other gear for their cold weather supply drive. You can donate at Gators CPR and Grace Marketplace.
The Super Bowl is right around the corner, but this time it's not just about the game. In Gainesville, it's also about the community. The Food for Kids Backpack Program of North Florida is organizing a food drive and seeking donations. They're looking for canned soup and crackers until the end of February under the name Super Bowl Food Drive. That's clever. The organization helps chronically hungry children across 4 counties in North Florida.
Our families are taking home several cans of soup, and that is actually one of the most expensive items for us to purchase to put in our bags. And so we thought we'd capitalize on the Super Bowl and have a Super Bowl food drive, asking the community to help us provide these families with a variety of different types of soup.
Over 100 children receive these bags of food each week. If you're interested in donating, you're able to see the drop-off locations directly on their website at foodforkidsfl.org.
And coming up on First at 5, some important updates for pet parents in Marion County, what to expect from the county commissions. Then we will take a look at the newest addition to the local landmarks, what this could mean for the Gainesville community.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
The Gainesville City Commission voted to add the 90-year-old Florida Theater as a landmark to the local register of historic places. The theater was opened in 1920 as the city's only movie house. The venue has gone under several ownerships until club promoter Bill Bryson purchased the property. In 2024, Bryson and Mayor Ward discussed brainstorm options for the theater's finances with professionals. The Mayor Pro Tem spoke on how this new change can help the Gainesville community.
Gainesville has a tremendous music scene, and it always has had a tremendous music scene. And right now the music scene is maybe better than it's been in 20, 30 years, but you don't have those medium-sized venues. So to make the Florida Theater, which is a medium-sized venue that would be able to host larger bands, I mean, it would be a huge benefit to the community.
The final approval is expected to come on March 6th. This will give the theater the opportunity to apply for grants, tax credit, and more support to maintain the historic property.
The Marion County Commission is updating their animal-related ordinance to reinforce pet ownership. This is to enhance both public safety and property rights. On your screen coming up right now is a list of the different regulations that are highlighted in the ordinance. The County Commission Chairman, Kathy Bryant, emphasizes the importance of these new updates to protect your pets and community. Additionally, she advises microchipping, pet licensing, and neutering your pets. The possession of dogs and cats on properties in unincorporated Marion County. That was one of the topics of codes discussed at the Marion County Land Development Regulation Commission on Wednesday. The commission is revising the county's land development code. Before a final decision, the LDRC will hold 3 public hearings on the updates. The first of the 3 meetings is March 5th at 5:30 p.m.
Former Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez returns to her alma mater, FIU, as the new interim president. The decision was made by the FIU Board of Trustees today. She is slated to start her new position on February 17th, meaning that Governor Ron DeSantis will need to appoint a new lieutenant governor.
IFAS is hosting the annual Flora and Fauna Festival tomorrow. Stop by 4th Avenue Park from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The event brings plant sales, vendors, and activities for kids.
More dense fog is moving its way from the west tonight. I will have when that fog is going to be the heaviest after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Several dozen women showed up to the Representative Kat Cammack's Gainesville office today to protest what they say is complicity from the Congresswoman. The Women for Democracy group says Elon Musk has too much power and oversight within the Trump administration. Musk and the president have faced backlash over the Department of Government Efficiency's controversial budget slashing. That includes reducing the size of the U.S. International Development Agency, which is an organization responsible for humanitarian aid globally. We reached out to the Congresswoman's office for comment about the protest, but they refused to answer. We spoke to several protesters and have a full wrap of today's event on WUFT.org.
And in other news, today is the last day of Severe Weather Awareness Week here in Florida.
Yeah, and yesterday was hurricanes,
Yep.
And we've had our fair share of those in the fall. But we're here with UF forecaster Matthew Clark, so tell us a little bit more about what today is.
Yeah, so today being the last day is about wildfires and extreme heat. And while we may not know too much about wildfires here, we are familiar with that extreme heat, especially in the summer. Those heat index values getting above 100 degrees, it is important to stay hydrated. More on wildfires, though. It does have a 12-month season. There is no set season in stone for wildfires because it's mainly caused by drought and low humidity and just high winds spreading that wildfire. It's also caused a lot by people, sparks from electrical units and like campfires. It could spread fires everywhere. We are in a drought right now here. Abnormally dry conditions here in Gainesville, but most parts of Central Florida are in a moderate drought. We have not seen a lot of rain this past month here in Florida. The only place that's seen above average rainfall was in Jacksonville. Normal rainfall is 100%. Most of Florida is above that 100% mark. 82% of our total rainfall here in Florida this month. Hopefully we get some more rain in the upcoming months. Campus cam right now, though, nothing really going on in the atmosphere. No rain again today. 79 degrees. Winds slightly coming out from the west. Beautiful sunset starting to come overhead. Temperatures are going to drop into the 50s. Going to be kind of a moderate night, but then that dense fog is going to start to roll in around midnight, starting around Cross City and Cedar Key and moving its way towards the west as we head in around 2 a.m. The densest fog is going to head our way around 4 a.m. and into 7 a.m. with the visibility being just a 1/10 of a mile. So if you're getting up early on your Saturday morning for anything, it's going to be dense fog out there before it starts to retreat around Saturday morning. Once that sun comes out, it's going to just evaporate the rest of that fog. A lot of weather going on up in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of snow, but this is just because the polar north jet stream is way further north. Last month it was dipping down all the way down here, bringing us a lot of rain and heavy precipitation, but it's all staying up north, colder temperatures up north and warmer temperatures down south. It's being reflected by the country's temperature map, 74 degrees in Jacksonville, and the further north, 32 degrees, freezing in Chicago. It's also a lot more moist down here in Florida. Those dew points, which is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, mainly contained down to the southeast. 60s right now here in Florida for our dew point. That's almost summer level dew point. So if you've been out, it's feeling a lot more humid. 56-degree dew point in Ocala though, but it's pretty humid. And when that dew points reach that temperature in the morning, those dew points start to condense and turn into fog. And that's why we're going to be seeing fog the next couple of mornings. So that fog isn't going away anytime soon. Those dew points are sticking around in the 50s. Those low temperatures are also in the 50s. So the next couple of mornings, fog is going to be persistent. Super Bowl Sunday though, temperatures just shy of 80 degrees here in Gainesville. Beautiful sunny skies for your Super Bowl Sunday, so if you're going out and about to tailgate that game here in Gainesville, it's going to be beautiful. Chiefs versus Eagles on Sunday, but look at that fog across the board, and then we could have a front on next Thursday cooling us down for Valentine's Day on Friday.
The Gators men's basketball team faces a tough matchup against top-seeded Auburn this weekend. With the return of Walter Clayton Jr., the Gators are sure to put on an exciting show. Gators volleyball coach retires after 34 years at the University of Florida. WUFT's Alyssa Britton-Harr has more details after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Jordyn Banks. Let's talk sports. Florida Gators head volleyball coach Mary Wise retires after 34 years with the Gators. WUFT's Alyssa Britton-Harr is live at the O-Dome with more. Alyssa?
Last night, Florida volleyball head coach Mary Wise stepped down after having spent 34 seasons with the Gators. She shared that it was an honor to serve as head coach and that Gator Nation helped elevate the program with their continuous support and representing the orange and blue. University of Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland issued a statement to WFT about Wise. He shared that Gator athletes, staff, and fans are grateful to Wise for making Florida a premier volleyball program. She is an icon who has impacted countless lives along the way. Tributes continue to pour across Gator Nation, including those within head coaching positions. Men's basketball head coach Todd Golden was asked about Wise's career during Auburn Media Availability Friday and joked that 43 years ago he wasn't even a thought.
To be able to run such a high-level program for so long, and obviously we've experienced a lot of change in college athletics over the last 5 years, but there's been other periods over the last 40 years where there's been a lot of change as well. And for her to be able to keep UF volleyball at the pinnacle, for that time period.
Looking forward to next, WFT reached out to the volleyball communication staff but did not hear back about the team's plan. And in flux, the Gators brace for a new head coach to live up to Wise's legendary career. Reporting from the Stephen C. O'Connell Center, Alyssa Britton-Harr, WFT Sports.
The Gators men's basketball team faces Auburn this weekend, coming off a recent win against Vanderbilt. The Gators are ready for action. This isn't the first time they faced a #1 seed and come out on top. Earlier this season, the Gators defeated previous top seed Tennessee. Will they do it again? Todd Golden spoke about the upcoming game in today's press conference.
I think it's going to be a great battle. I mean, they have really good players, so do we. Chaney Johnson's another guy in that group that's had a great year and really stepped up. He's averaging close to 10 points a game and was more of a, I don't want to say an afterthought, but one of their lower, usage guys last year, and he's playing really, really well. And, Janai's obviously in the front running for National Player of the Year, so they're deep, they're big, they're very athletic and physical.
With the return of Walter Clayton Jr., the Gators are hopeful for this weekend. Clayton is just 2 points away from becoming the 57th Gator to reach 1,000 career points. Although guard Elijah Martin is questionable to play this weekend. Game time is at 4 p.m. on Saturday in Auburn. Florida's softball team opened the 2025 season with an 8-0 run rule victory over North Florida. 3 of Florida's 4 hits in the game came via the long ball with Reagan Walsh, Taylor Shoemaker, and Corby Otis, each sending balls out of Katie Seasholes Presley Stadium. The Gators carried their early momentum into the bottom of the inning as Corby Otis put the first 2 runs on the board with 2-run blast to the left center. That is her 10th as a Gator. Florida heads down to Tampa for the USF Rawlings Invitational this weekend. Florida will kick off the 3-day tournament today with a game against Illinois State at 7 p.m. Moving on to the hardwood, Florida's women's basketball team tailed its 7th loss of the SEC play Thursday night, falling 84-66 to number 23 Alabama. With this loss, the Gators still put up a fight and matched the momentum with the Crimson Tide. Freshman Liv McGill led Florida offensively for the 11th time this season, scoring 22 points. Defensively, the Gators were led by Jarrah Warren, who grabbed 10 rebounds for the 2nd time this season. The Gators' next matchup is against current NCAA champions, the South Carolina Gamecocks, on February 13th. Super Bowl is finally here, and for the 23rd consecutive year, at least one Gator will be in the Super Bowl. And sticking with the Gators and Super Bowl theme, Gators legend Fred Taylor is snubbed for the 2nd straight year from the Hall of Fame. What is it going to take for Fred Taylor? Hopefully next year he will have a chance to get inducted.
All right, so out of the 4 of us, who do we think would make it to the Hall of Fame?
Hey, let's not all look at me at once.
Oh my God.
I'll stick to weather.
No, listen. I think I got quarterback arms. Like I think I can make it. Yeah.
You got it.
But, you know, with those temperatures outside, I don't think I could really succeed in any sport.
Yeah, 80s across the board, and that fog isn't going anywhere anytime soon, at least for the next couple of days. And then Valentine's Day is next week, and we could have a slight cool down from a 40% chance of rain on Thursday.
All right, thanks, Matthew. Thanks for joining us. We're back here Monday for